What is up, you guys? I am Missy Renee, and in today's video, we're going to talk about what our specific person is thinking and feeling while we are manifesting them. So if manifestation and conscious creation are topics that you are interested in learning more about, then definitely do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so that way you're notified when I release new videos every week. If you are interested in more resources, such as working with me one-on-one or joining my brand new Facebook group, I will have the links to that down in the description box below, so don't forget to check it out. And if you enjoy these videos and this type of content, do me a huge favor and hit that thumbs up button. That will tell the YouTube algorithm to put this video out to more people. Help me spread the good word about the law. And this is a topic that has been brought up often and a request for a video for a while now, so I figure it is long past overdue to talk about this. Talk about what other people are thinking and feeling while we're manifesting them. So if this is something that you've been curious about, if this is something that you've been wondering, then definitely stick around to the end of the video, because we're going to talk all about what goes on in that other person's head. We're going to talk more about everyone as you pushed out, and I'm also going to tell you guys about my experience when I asked my person this very question. So jumping right into this, when it comes to other people in our world, first and foremost, it's important to have a really good understanding of the concept, everyone as you pushed out. Now, for those of you who follow my channel or follow the works of Neville Goddard, you're probably familiar with this term and what it means. But for those of you who may be brand new to manifestation and the law of assumption, for those who may not know what everyone as you pushed out is, you can check out a video that I made covering it in great detail. I will leave the link to that video up here and also down in the description box below. But in short, everyone as you pushed out means that everyone in your world, everybody that you know and interact with, are all a reflection of you. And what do I mean by that? I mean, everyone in your reality is going to be mirroring your assumptions and beliefs. Everyone is a perfect outpicturing of what you assume is true in your world. So for example, if we have an assumption that people are lazy, then we are going to experience people in our lives being lazy. If we assume somebody is mean, if we assume somebody is friendly, if we assume people are all cheaters or all liars, whatever the assumption may be, is how people are going to reflect and show up in your world. And this could be in regards to a specific individual or more general assumptions that we carry. If we assume that our SP is a jerk and that they're treating us poorly, then that is how they are going to reflect and how they are going to show up. If we assume in general that people are jerks and treat us unfairly, then we're probably going to have this kind of interaction everywhere that we go. So it is so key and so paramount to really have this understanding when knowing and learning about the law and understanding how all of this works. Because for practically all of us, we have been conditioned since birth to see everyone as separate from ourselves. And that is a grand illusion. In fact, there is no separation. There is no that person over there with the free will to do what they want and do as they please. We are all connected as smaller parts of the bigger consciousness. We are all one consciousness, split into many different experiences. And in your reality, in your world, you are the operant power. So it is whatever you assume and whatever you believe and whatever you hold as your truth that ultimately is going to wind up as your experience. And this is especially relevant when it comes to specific people, manifesting a specific person, a romantic partner, an ex, whoever it might be. When it comes to matters of the heart, we are talking about all of our core root assumptions and beliefs. We are talking about something that goes much deeper and we have much more attachment to than, say, a cup of coffee or something that we would consider small and insignificant. So it is very common for most people to get kind of caught up in our own mind about the other person. When we are trying to manifest somebody into our experience, we are usually positioning them on a pedestal over there with their own thoughts and their own beliefs and their own actions, separate from us. So the first thing to understand when you're asking this question of what they are thinking and assuming, it's important to note that they are going to reflect whatever it is that you think and assume, because it is the beliefs and assumptions that we carry that determine the state of consciousness that we dwell in, also known as the reality that we experience. We are at all times moving in and out of different states or different realities. You can call it parallel realities. That might be the easiest way to go about it, but still quite the concept to wrap our head around, I know. But the important thing to take away from all of this, when it comes to anything relating to a specific person, is that it is our own assumptions, our own beliefs, our own mental diet, inner conversations, thoughts, feelings, moods. That is what we need to be mindful of. We need to turn the attention on us. Far too often, we get caught up in what they are doing and what they are feeling and what they are thinking, and what they're doing right now, how they feel about us at any given moment. What are they up to when I'm not around? It is not their thoughts and assumptions. It is our thoughts and assumptions that are going to become reflected and become our 3D experience. And a lot of times this question is asked because there may have been a falling out of sorts. Maybe the two of you are not on speaking terms anymore. Maybe there was a bad fallout, and there's a fear that they're thinking negative things about us. They are not missing us, that the feeling is not reciprocated. Again, this stems from that illusion of separation. This stems from our conditioning that people outside of us are separate from us. And that again, it is going to be our assumptions and beliefs that ultimately manifest. So a key way to look at this is not that we're changing that person over there. And this is another misconception that a lot of people think. For most people, when we talk about manifesting a specific person, in our mind, we are changing that person over there. We are changing that significant other or ex or whoever they are, and we are playing with their mind, or we're messing with their mind or manipulating them. This is something that I hear about a lot, and it does not sit well with most people having these kinds of thoughts, because we don't want to feel like we're manipulating naturally. But this is an important thing to understand as well, and this is why having that grasp on everyone issue pushed out is so important, because we are not changing that person over there. We are not changing that person currently in your reality, that version of them that is showing up in the way that we don't want. We are changing ourselves. There truly is no one to change but self when it comes to a specific person or anything at all for that matter. There is no one to change but us. And this is why the focus and attention needs to be turned back on us. Because at the end of the day, it is our self-concept, or the concept of ourselves that we carry, that will determine the state of consciousness that we dwell in. And when we talk about self-concept, we're talking about the sum total of beliefs and assumptions that we carry about ourselves, about the other person, and about the world around us and how it works. Because by changing our self-concept, we are in effect moving into a new state of consciousness. We are occupying a new state of consciousness or another reality. The self-concept that we carry determines the reality that we experience. So when we change that concept of self, when we change the beliefs and assumptions that we carry, we move into a new reality. And in that new reality is going to be the version of your specific person that lines up with the new self. So if you are experiencing in your 3D no contact, or they said something very hurtful, things ended on bad terms, whatever it might be, we must focus on self and move ourselves into a new state. Because the truth is, creation is already finished. There is already, right now, in this moment, a reality, a state of consciousness, where that version of your specific person is already waiting for you. All possibilities already exist as realities. The difference becomes what we assume and believe is true. Our self-concept is going to determine what is a reality for us and what remains a possibility for us. But that version of your specific person in that state that you desire is already a real thing that we can experience right now, which is why it is so key to focus on self. Focus on changing your beliefs and assumptions about you or about that other person, because it is what we are thinking and feeling about us, about them, that is going to determine their thoughts and beliefs and how they feel and show up for us. So if we move from the state of he doesn't like me or she blocked me to a state of they are an open and loving and caring partner, you are going to move into that state where that version of them already exists. So when you ask yourself that question of what are they assuming and thinking right now, it's important to go back and remember that it's whatever we are assuming. They are a mirror of us. They are a perfect reflection, a perfect outpicturing of our own mind and our own self-concept. When our beliefs and assumptions begin to change, so do theirs. And I do need to be clear that it's not we changing them. We shouldn't look at this like we are changing them. Instead, the focus needs to be on we are changing ourselves. And by doing so, moving into a whole new state of consciousness where that version of them is going to be the dominant version that shows up in our 3D experience. So practice mindfulness always. Step 1 in manifesting your person is to mind the thoughts, mind the feelings, mind the reactions, mind the assumptions that we carry. Because if we're having thoughts day in and day out of, they blocked me, they don't really care about me, they're such an asshole to me, I can't do anything right, they must not think I'm good enough, they seem so far away right now. If that is the mental dialogue, if that is what is running around in your imagination, that is what needs to change. And instead, we need to be assuming that they're always thinking lovingly of me. They adore me. They cannot wait to see me. I know they're thinking about me right now. I know they dream about me. I know that they are madly in love with me. By shifting that focus and by shifting that assumption that we have about them, we're going to see that reflected in our outside world. But just as a fun note, I did want to share with you guys a quick story about my person and what he said when I asked the same question. Now, I know a lot of you are familiar with my specific person's story. If not, that is definitely a video you should check out, and I will leave the link to it up here. I'll also have it down in the description box below. But about a year or so after we got back together, I asked him what was going through his mind right before he reached out to me. And essentially he said that he started dreaming about me, and that it was kind of bizarre because he usually doesn't remember his dreams. He does not dream that often, but he said he started to get really vivid dreams about the two of us back together. He said those dreams started turning into thoughts about me popping up in his day-to-day. He said that he was seeing reminders of me everywhere. In his words, it seemed like every song on the radio, every movie that he passed by while flipping through channels, all of these things started coming out of the woodwork that were reminders of the two of us. And those feelings kept getting stronger and stronger until the day that he reached out to me. And during this time was when I was working on myself. This happened around the same exact time that I shifted the focus away from him and instead focused on me and focused on changing my state, focused on changing my concept of self, removing, revising any limitations, any insecurities, any doubts, any limiting beliefs and assumptions. When I really took the deep dive in doing the internal work, that lined up perfectly with the circumstances that started to unfold for him, because I was in effect moving into that state where he began to dream about me, where he began to miss me, where he began to see reminders of me everywhere. Though it may seem like it was him changing, it was all me. All of it was mine. In my reality, I was the one that made the move and made the change, not him. But the bottom line is that there is no one to change but self. When it comes to manifesting a specific person, their thoughts and their assumptions are going to be a perfect outpicturing of what we assume. So first and foremost, we need to take the focus and attention off of them and what they're thinking, and instead put that focus back on us and focus on changing that concept of self and moving into that state where the two of you are already happy, healthy, and madly in love. That is how you manifest anything you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in checking out any of my other resources, I will have links down below to my one-on-one coaching, my blog, my social channels, my podcast, and my new Facebook group. Got a lot of good stuff down there, so do not forget to check it out. Also, do not forget to check out these videos over here. Each video is a different topic, but they're all about how to manifest the best life ever. So until we meet next time, take care, be well, and never forget, we change ourselves, we change the world we live in. Happy manifesting, guys.